Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever in the world that you are. It's the one and only notorious, glorious, the simian hairy one himself, the Gorilla Economist, coming to you live on another edition of the Trading Terrordome with none other than the madman of the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow himself. The man who reads the tea leaf, who reads the algos like he's reading the tea leaves. It's the one and only Dex, the Algocapitalist. Dex, what's up, buddy?
What up, peoples? What up? What up?
What is doing? What is going? Where are you, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Got a migraine, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm pressing through it.
Yeah, man. I feel you, bro. I mean, you feeling better? You still doing?
Nah, I'm still pressed, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right.
Everything's gonna be all right, brother.
Yeah, there's just so much going on in the world, man. It's hard to take in all this news, man.
What news?
It hurts to be right.
What news? Everything's perfect in the world. What are you talking about, bro?
I know. Everyone has their head in the sand. They don't know what's going on.
Well, what's wrong with having your head in the sand? I thought it's totally okay.
Well, that's what we were raised to believe, right? That what you don't know can't hurt you, right?
Yeah, what you don't know can't hurt you.
Have you realized just how extraordinarily stupid that comment is? Okay, yeah. So you're walking on the train tracks. You don't know that a train is behind you going 150 miles an hour. But like the saying goes, what you don't know can't hurt you.
Right.
See the foolishness of such a thing?
Yeah.
Of course, what you don't know can kill you.
What you don't know can kill you.
There you go.
Absolutely right.
So here's the thing. All right. People need to know what's going down and what's about to happen. Okay. I first came on the Rogue Money Show and revealed to the world that their precious Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency space was being secretly invaded by the banks and by large funds. Everyone laughed at me and said, it can't happen, it won't happen, it's not happening.
Who laughed at you?
Oh, you know, people leave those comments.
Well, we can't stop these guys from getting involved. It's again, it's who's controlling and who calls the shots. But go ahead.
I know. So peep it.
Yeah.
Then it was finally announced live on the air, CNBC, Bloomberg, you name your business channel, that yes, the central banks are involved and large funds have been operating in the coins. That's why Bitcoin went up to $12,000 a coin, because large money, institutional money is behind it, pushing it up higher. But guess what? There's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys. There's like $1 trillion of capital on the sidelines that is about to enter into the market, hard body karate, starting December the 18th. They're mad because they missed the boat. So guess what they're going to do? They've already announced it. They're going to push the price of Bitcoin way down, allowing all those that missed the boat to get in at the price they should have got in when they got in. So here we go. What can you expect? You can expect a major correction coming in Bitcoin. And that also equates to the GBTC ticker symbol. Now, because of this,
the LGBT ticker symbol,
the GBTC, that is the current ETF that tracks the Bitcoin.
Right.
Now, here's what they're about to do. Starting December the 18th, you're going to be able to trade Bitcoin futures on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So they're actually creating a futures contract for that.
With 0 Bitcoins at play, folks. 0 Bitcoins.
Now, peep it. It's going to be based on 5 Bitcoins. The contract's going to be based on 5 Bitcoins, and it's going to trade at $5 a point, just like the mini Dow futures. The only difference is the margin requirement is going to be pretty steep. There's talk now somewhere in the neighborhood of about $11,000 a contract. That's what you're going to need in order to participate. They're also going to put lock limits on it, just like they do the grain futures, meaning that there will be limit up and limit down moves in this contract. And what that means for those that are uninitiated into futures trading, lock limit moves can help you or they can destroy you.
Yep.
A lock limit move means that the price ceases to trade at that direction for the rest of the day.
Yep.
The next day, the market can open up even further in that direction. So, for example, say this Bitcoin futures was trading already. And let's say that when the Bitcoin itself went to 12,000, so the futures, and let's say that's a lock limit move because yesterday, let's say the Bitcoin was trading at 9,000. Well, that there is a $200 up move, gap up move. You just hit a lock limit, right? Because it's based on X percentage. So the next day, it opens up, let's say, at $1,400. Well, guess what? Now the lock limit has been extended. So let's say if the first one was 5%, the next lock limit is going to be 7%. So it's going to keep doing that. Now, what it means is once that lock limit is reached, price can't go any higher. There's no more buy orders accepted the rest of the day. All right. So that's the way that works.
And if
now,
you're caught on the short side of things, you're screwed.
You can't get out of the market.
Nope.
You cannot get out of the market because on those lock limits, they don't take any orders. If you're short, you can't get out because it's locked. The market's locked up. Same thing in a lock limit down move. Then if you're long, then you're caught. You can't get out of the market. So this is going to be interesting to see how this works. Now, supposedly these lock limits are going to be pretty, wide. I think the first one's like 10 or 13%, something like that. And then if it hits 20%, I think it's going to be shut down and won't even trade for the rest of the day kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. The margin requirements are going to be flexible. They're going to lower them and raise them as needed. They'll lower them if they need to get more people involved and add more liquidity. They will raise it if they need to, quiet the market down a little bit. Just to give you guys who don't know a little idea of what this looks like. Remember when gold and silver was going ballistic back in 2011?
Oh, those good old days.
The futures exchanges toyed with the margin requirement sometimes 3 to 4 times a day. It was crazy. So, that was back in the good old days in the wild, wild west when we were actually here in America a lot more freer than we are today. For example, we were able to trade in the spot metals markets back then. Now, if you're an American citizen, you're not allowed. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, you're not allowed to trade in the spot market in America. You also can't do a lot of other, elaborate type contracts that you can do overseas. They have these CMDs, which are like futures contracts, but they have them so that you can have exposure to the futures markets without being in the futures markets. It's analogous to trading Forex. If you ever traded Forex, it's sort of like a casino or an old 1920s bucket shop where you're not actually going into the market, but you're on a broker system. So imagine Globex, which is an order routing system, or level 2 in the NASDAQ, right. But your trades aren't actually being executed in the live market. They're being held in this machine, if you will, and the orders are routed and, buyers and sellers are put together and profit and loss, same thing. The only difference is it's not actually being put in the real market. And that's how Forex is based today, just for people who don't know that. Now, if you wanted to trade live Forex, you have to have an enormous trading account. And there are firms that will let you trade that way. That's more of the interbank system, though. So you have to have a lot of money to do that. And that's a whole different thing. But anyway, the Bitcoin futures are coming. Now, on the back of this, The other exchanges that are coming online are going to be creating their own quote unquote futures contract, but it's not going to be futures, meaning it's going to be under the banner of the CFTC. Nope. These are going to be like the GBTC ticker.
Mhm.
That's the equities quote unquote version of a futures contract. Okay. So they're going to have their ETFs and whatever that you can trade and do it that way. So right now at the New York, I think this is the New York Stock Exchange, they have their Bitcoin index. Like on the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, the ticker is NYXBT, and that's their intraday Bitcoin index, if you will. And it only works during the 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to the 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time New York Stock Exchange open and closing bell. After that, it's turned off. It doesn't work. It's only during the normal trading hours of New York time.
Yeah.
Just for those that know that. So they're going to have their own index. So this is very interesting. Now, on the back of that, all of the major stock indexes around the world are in a race to also offer not only Bitcoin, but every altcoin that exists. They want to put it on the exchanges. So you will be able to trade the equity version of these markets. It's getting real crazy, folks. But this is what's going on right now as we speak. The race is on. Every exchange around the world wants to offer cryptos, all the altcoins and Bitcoin. So it's weird. Also, I saw something. I gotta find the article. Something about the initial coin offerings.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of way they're trying to bring it under the banner of the SEC and the CFTC and
Yeah, they
all.
want to make it into a security.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do they want to do that, but here's the neat part. By doing this, check it out. You'll have to go through those venues per se, so that they can make the initial coins to everybody.
Yeah.
You know how now you have to go through all the rigmarole to try to get in on the initial coin offering?
Yeah.
Nope. They want to centralize it so that everybody can come in, and so that it's harder though too to make coins. Remember, when the governing body takes over, then they're gonna give the kickbacks and favors to the buddies, so that you have to go through them to do a coin. As it stands right now, today, you and I can put our own coin out right now.
Right.
Within about 50 minutes, we can get a coin out there in the market.
Correct.
But when the governing bodies take over, no, you will not be able to do that anymore. That goes away.
Right.
So there's some pros and cons to what's coming, but guys, we're not talking 5 years from now. We're talking this month, December, kicking all of this stuff off. And by the first quarter of next year, it will be global.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, this is what governments want to do. The fact that they want to create some exchanges here and have quote unquote Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency available on there, when the truth of the matter is they won't have any whatsoever available. Number one. Number two, none of these ETF swaps or exchanges are going to be recorded on the blockchain. That's number two. What they're trying to do is this: the stock market, as you and I know, is all about maintaining perception, right? Maintaining the perception of legitimacy.
Right.
It's about maintaining the illusion of a functioning economy and everything's normal. What this whole entire maneuver is trying to show the public, hey, look at us. We have Bitcoin exchanges too. You can trade Bitcoin with us. Why go anywhere else? And there's pros and cons. There's pros because you know what? You don't have to be worried about the massive bleed off of loss that would occur if you were to go sometimes with a private ICO or whatnot. I mean, let's be honest. There's some tokens out there that do absolutely nothing. Okay, and granted, folks, there are thousands of coins, but only a handful of coins have any real financial or transactional capabilities. Okay, So let's focus on those transactional coins that have, financial or transactional capabilities. When you look at those coins, you look at your Bitcoins, your Litecoins, your Moneros, your Populist, your Salt. You look at these different types of coins. Can they go ahead and control and subvert anything? They really can't. They could try, but here's the most amazing thing about the blockchain when you start studying the blockchain system. And that's why we tell people get that book, Blockchain Revolution, and study it in and out and over in reverse. The sickest thing about the blockchain, every time you try to attack it, every time you try to manipulate it, its algorithm adjusts and it becomes stronger. It becomes stronger. Right now, if you look at the computing power, and this is how I know Wall Street will not be able to do this. When you look at the computing power right now of just the electricity cost of mining Bitcoin supersedes all the electricity in the continent of Africa combined. That's how much power is required right now, currently in this state of affairs, to mine Bitcoin. And with all that computing power, you're only mining just a handful of Bitcoins per day. So it just shows you where we are. Now, the other thing is this. So these exchanges will do this. This will be all they're doing. Look, here's the thing. They are trying to get ahead of this thing. They are trying to curb it. They're trying to control it. They're trying to get ahead of it. But this is the mistake they're going to make. Bitcoin currently does not have mass consciousness yet. You go on to the mainstream public, 99.9% of Joe and Jane public have no clue of Bitcoin, let alone cryptocurrencies. By the government, the NASDAQ, the CME, the New York Stock Exchange, these guys coming out with these products and then blabbing about it on, CNBS and all these other alphabet mainstream news nonsense networks. Now, all of a sudden, they're giving free marketing. They're bringing Bitcoin to a global consciousness. That will in itself will have pros and cons. The cons for these guys is that there will be people that will be looking into these things and be like, wait a minute, why do I want to go and buy from an exchange when I can just go ahead and buy it myself? Why would I want to go trade an exchange when the exchange themselves is really not, there's no real underlying Bitcoin there? But those are going to be some people that will be, I guess, ignorantly pragmatic. Will say, hey, it's an exchange. I'm going to make some money. I'm just going to be in it for the short term. And they'll play it. But the broader scope of the damage that cryptocurrencies are doing right now to global economies, global governments, that damage is irreversible, man. They can't stop that. It means nothing. Like I talked to my buddy Roger Ver, who is AKA the Bitcoin Jesus, who is one of the top guys in cryptos. He was the guy who owns Bitcoin.com. He was one of the initial investors in Bitcoin. Okay. I asked Roger this, about all these laws, rules, regulations coming down with the CE, the SEC, and Roger said about it, he goes, why do I care what a bunch of old men in a faraway land, in a faraway government makes rules and regulations? Well, how does that affect me? And I thought about that for a second. This is somebody who's in the system. And I said, holy crap, it doesn't. It means nothing to the vast majority of people that are already in the realm of creating applications, that are already in the realm of coming out with newer technology like atomic swaps, which eventually atomic swaps will replace exchanges. You no longer have to go to an exchange in order to rack up on your various cryptos. That's done. It's incredible. It's like whatever the government and whatever mainstream is doing, they're like a day late and a dollar short.
Well, that's true. That's why the Fed Vice Chair, Randall Quarles, has publicly said that the decentralized currencies threaten the entire financial system. They see it as a systematic risk. But then with his mouth, they say that. But then behind the scenes, the Bank of Canada is talking about the benefits of the central banks of the world developing their own cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So what is being done is they're telling the world that cryptocurrencies are used for money laundering. So only criminals are involved.
Oh yeah.
So that's why you should let us take over. We're going to create one and have our own, and we're going to make it unlawful for you to operate in anything else but ours, because
Right.
then that way we control it. See, that's what they do. They demonize something that they see as a threat,
Which is funny.
and then they convince the public that this threat can be managed if you allow us to take over. And
Yeah, which is funny because when you look at it, right, the very reason cryptocurrencies exist is because of the public mistrust in banking.
right.
And bankers and politicians have the same approval rating. That's the funny thing is it. So these guys think, hey, you know what? It's like picture me being the most one of the most hated men in the world. And I'm telling people, hey, look, guess what? I'm inventing this new product. You're gonna love it. You're gonna come to me to get it. When they can go get it from Dex. When they can go get it from somebody who's like more open, more honest, more forthright. Why would anybody want to come to me? You know, it's like Joseph Mengele is offering free advice on healthcare. Like who would sit there and listen to the guy, right? And bankers have the same appeal as Joseph Mengele did to the public. So it's the same thing, man. It's just, you know, so these guys are so out of touch. Like it's a threat. It's a threat. Like the Chinese. I reported on this. One of the heads over there at the People's Bank of China was saying we will sit in the river and we'll sit by the banks of the river and watch the body of Bitcoin go by. And I started laughing at that. I'm like, the only body that's going to be going by is the body of bankers. Because every time they call Bitcoin, this is the 200th time they're saying that, you know, cryptocurrencies are finished, blah, blah, blah. It's all in the bubble, blah, blah, blah. 200th time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing the price escalate and escalate. Why? Because it's a systemic risk. The systemic risk is Bitcoin exists because of the shenanigans you bankers are doing. De-dollarization exists. Not because China is manipulating the currency or Russia's manipulating the currency. We're the fault. We are at fault for treating the dollar so poorly. We are at fault for allowing the politicians to devalue and debase and destroy our dollar. Bitcoin is just a symptom. Cryptocurrency is the cat out of the bag because there's a global pushback against these statists and these globalists. So it's hilarious, man. The pride of these guys, they're blinded, Dex. They're crazy.
Well, here's the thing. Look how their fiat system has worked. Look how well it's worked. So now they want to make their own blockchain and their own crypto. The governments don't do anything well. They don't run anything well. So now they're going to take this over because they see it as a threat. And if you guys who are listening to this do not believe in what we are saying about the government's taking over, well, it's already started, because a man in Detroit got jailed. And the reason being is because they saw him as a threat. They hit him with an unlicensed money business.
What?
Yes, running an unlicensed money business. All right. He's a Bitcoin trader. He was sentenced Monday to 366 days in jail for operating an unlicensed money service business.
What the hell was he doing?
Well, let's see here. His name was Sal Mancy. He was arrested in June 2015 for funneling Bitcoin transactions through a corporation he owned called TV Toys. Manzi conducted $2.4 million worth of Bitcoin transactions over a 2-year period, according to a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maine. He pleaded guilty in May to purchasing Bitcoin through the Coinbase and Bitstamp exchanges and selling the cryptocurrency at a profit through the local Bitcoins, as CoinDesk previously reported. So they're saying that because this dude is conducting business using Bitcoins and not the American dollar and doesn't have the permission of the state, he's being hit with operating a money business without a license. Remember, people, the word license means permission.
Yeah.
All right. So following his jail time for the offense, he will receive 3 years of supervised release. He must further forfeit. See, here's the key. He has to forfeit $118,000 in cash and Bitcoin gained through the quote unquote illegal scheme. All right. Investigators confiscated roughly that amount during his arrest in 2015. Notice how they say, we have to confiscate, he has to forfeit all of this fiat and the Bitcoin. Notice how they threw the Bitcoin in there too. We have to confiscate this now. We have to take this. So we're going to take his wallet, whatever is in his wallet, and we're going to create a paper wallet and put that into our wallet. What are you going to do with the Bitcoins? They're going to put it into their own coffers. And of course, they're going to split it up amongst themselves. Because what are they going to do with it? The world doesn't operate in Bitcoin right now. Not yet, anyway.
Right.
So what are they going to do with it? You understand what I'm saying? It's not like when they, shake down a drug trafficker and they go and they auction off all of his cars and houses, and then they take the drugs. And you know what they do with the drugs? You know what I'm saying? And the cash. So this is the same thing they're using.
It's civil asset forfeiture it's what it is. It's civil asset forfeiture, but a fancier way of doing it.
Yeah, but check this out. This is just one instance of a number of arrests in the recent years with the same charge they hit him with running an illegal business using Bitcoin. So many people using Bitcoin have been jailed for doing so.
Mm-hmm. And this is why people need to get smart about how to handle Bitcoin. If you want to learn how to handle Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you need to check out our thecryptoschool.io. That's thecryptoschool.io. And we'll show you how it's done legally and ethically and smartly, folks. I mean, you don't want to be like this guy commingling business funds, buying massive amounts on Coinbase, because again, the magic number is 20,000. You go over that 20,000 limit, you are going to be popped on that radar screen. Then you got problems. You could always, move a whole bunch of, if you have a massive amounts of crypto on, let's say Coinbase or something like that, and you transfer it to another wallet, God knows where. Somebody asks for it, be like, hey man, I lost my wallet code. I have no idea. I have no access to it. What can you do?
Well, ask yourself this question. What is the actual harm these individuals did by encouraging people to adopt digital forms of currency? Did they drain the economy? No. Did they abuse their freedoms?
Nope.
No. They didn't do anything.
No.
Except for threaten the status quo. They threatened the status quo.
Yes.
So that's no different than them trying to arrest us right now because we're talking about what they've done to other people.
Mm-hmm. That's the next step.
This is getting terrible, man. I'm telling you, people need to wake up and how we are losing our freedoms here in America for doing nothing. All right. Look, our YouTube videos get randomly demonetized because they don't like what we say. Now, those of you who know me, who have listened to me for a while, have you ever heard me use profanity in any of my videos or interviews? Have you ever heard me talk lewdly or speak lewdly or crudely in any one of my interviews or any of my YouTube videos? No, you have not. And yet, do you know I constantly get harassed with demonetization of my videos because they say it's not, advertiser friendly? All I did is give you the quotes from the market, and that was it. And and plug the services being offered, and that's it. How is that not friendly? Want to know why? Because of the vein in which I'm doing it, which is, hey, exercise your financial freedom, gain some financial independence, learn how to trade these markets. That's what they don't like, folks. You need to understand that we are living now in a hush society. where they're censoring anything that threatens the current establishment, or should I say that they perceive as a threat. I didn't tell people, hey, stop using the US dollar. I didn't say that. I just said learn how to put your dollars to work. But yet, that's being seen as threat speech, I guess.
It's racist.
Well, think about it. Rather than just deleting my account and banning me, they say, well, we can make them go away by demonetizing his videos. But what they don't understand is I don't look to YouTube for income. Truth be told, if I told you what I generated from YouTube videos, you guys would laugh because you
Right.
could make 100 times more working at McDonald's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's not the issue. The issue is what they're doing to try to quell speech by disencouraging people to talk about certain things. Think about
Correct. Exactly.
it. So anyway, that's funny. I just figured I would throw that out there. But yeah, people, times are changing fast, and this whole technology that I told you about is upon us. They've been talking about the 5G whatever speed thing. They've thrown up, I think it's 30,000 new poles, if you will, throughout the country. And I think they need to put a few more up. That's what they showed on the news the other day. So again, I told you guys this over a year ago that they were putting up these boxes. This is way before they start talking about 5K and all that stuff and 5G and all this other stuff. I told you what was going down. I included it in the documentary that I did, There Is No Collapse. I talked about it. All right. That documentary was done years ago and it's still up on YouTube. And then I followed that up with the Fed versus the blockchain documentary that I did last year before you started hearing them talk about Bitcoin futures and all that stuff. I told you guys what was coming. Now, the next thing I'm warning you about, again, I'll say it in the closing of this today, expect and get ready for them to attack the Bitcoin. All right. They want to push the price down at least by $500 to $600, somewhere around there.
Yep.
They gotta fill a gap that was done on the chart going back to November the 24th to be exact. Once that is been filled, that gap, then that will give them the time to come in and capitalize off of the cheaper price. And then by spring of next year, that's when we should see the Bitcoin up over 2,500.
Yeah.
And it's going to go a lot higher than that. Because once the exchanges get involved, folks, you ain't seen nothing yet. The biggest bubble is not the Bitcoin right now. The biggest bubble is the Dow.
Dude, you global stock markets, you know what the valuation of global stock markets are right now? 100. All these global indexes, you acted up to $100 trillion. Is a global. You want to talk about bubble? There's your bubble right there.
Yeah. And I told people where the Dow was going years ago. They laughed at me then too.
Yep. Now we're at Dow 25,000 and we're looking like sages, bro.
Yep. When I said it, everybody laughed. But now the next stop is Dow 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next stop. And
they got to hide that inflation somewhere.
Man, I'm telling you. And here's another thing too, folks. You're not going to see no crash. Ain't no crash coming. You'll see a nice little pullback here and there, but ain't no crash coming. So everyone talking about crash of the dollar, crash of the stock market, ain't no crash coming. Crash of Bitcoin, they're not going to crash Bitcoin. They're going to push the price down, and then they're going to destroy them. You're going to see firms going out of existence, hedge funds going out of existence because they blew up trading Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So that's my final warning to you all. Be careful with going into these markets like that. Because don't you think it's funny out of the woodwork now, everybody's a trader. Everybody's an expert in trading and specifically Bitcoin. Where were they last year, the year before that? Where were they? I haven't seen them nowhere. All right, these people are not professional traders, and yet they got people following them. And I'm warning everybody now, when this price collapses, it's going to blow a lot of people up. So move it at your own risk. I highly urge everybody under the sound of my voice right now to go to postwavetrading.com, where you will get your education on how to trade these markets. Everybody's a genius when we're in a super bull market like the Dow and the Bitcoin. But what happens when the bear market comes, folks? Then what you gonna do? All right, you don't want to end up like a lot of people who were trading the gold and the silver futures, not the stackers, the gold and silver futures and equity products, who I warned when those markets topped out, they still held on to them, and they blew up. A lot of them got decimated. They got their faces completely ripped off because they didn't listen to me. All right, for you stackers, you can tune out to what I just said. That don't apply to you. I'm talking about the people who claim to be traders. I'm warning everybody now, be careful, because when it happens, then you're going to hear everybody dissing it and saying, I told you Bitcoin was a bubble, blah, 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 blah. And then when Bitcoin goes to 100,000, you're not going to hear their voices ever again. Just like the people that was calling for financial Armageddon, where they at? You don't see them talking no more. Well, where they at? All right, they've been wrong for 15 years, and they still talking the same stuff. The sky's falling. It's not falling. You ain't seen the highs in the Dow and the Bitcoin yet. They're going to continue to rise together. Why do you think they're keeping gold and silver so depressed, folks? Wake up. Because they know that gold and silver is money. All right? So they have to hide and blockade the back door, the exit door for you, by making you fall out of love with the gold and the silver. Then when the Bitcoin and the Dow has their correction, not collapse, correction, all right, that to the novice looks like it's a collapse or a crash, and it's not. It's just a correction. Then everyone's going to be trying to run to gold and silver, but it's going to be too late, because they'll be so destroyed financially from trying to trade things that they don't know nothing about, that they won't be able to participate in the gold and the silver, because they've been sold all their gold and their silver to try to trade in the Bitcoin. Oh boy, don't become those people. I cannot help you once you've blown up. I can't help you. I can't. I'm sorry. All right, I'm not a miracle worker. I can't do it. The time to come see me is right now, before the correction in the Bitcoin and the Dow comes. All right, they're planning. This is a planned correction. All right, because they're bringing in all these new mechanisms. So Bitcoin and the stock indexes will correct, and I repeat, not crash, correct. It will make people think that it's a crash because they don't know any better, and it's going to destroy a lot of people financially. And then that's when the markets are really going to take off, and gold and silver is going to be right there with it. So don't get your faces ripped off, peeled all the way back to the white meat, people. I can't stress this enough. If you don't know what I'm talking about, come to postwavetrading.com, take advantage of the 7-day free trial, and learn how to trade these new markets, because it's all computer generated. Even Bitcoin is basically one grand scale artificial intelligence, if you will. Everything is being controlled by algorithms. So learn what that means and how to benefit from it.
Excellent point, my man. Excellent point. Pulsewavetrading.com, folks. That is the website. Learn how to trade. Also, if you want to get a crypto education, I think we should just sell a package together, man. The Crypto School and Pulsewave. Let's talk about a collabo we can do where we can educate people on cryptos and then pass them off to you to learn all the trading and investing aspect of it. That sounds like a great idea.
That's what's up.
Dude, I like it. We're going to do it. So, folks,
Let's make it happen.
PulseWaveTrading.com, folks. PulseWaveTrading.com. And we'll work something out. Bix. I called you Bix. My bad, man.
You think about that Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, also, tomorrow Bix is on at 1 p.m. for Hump Day. So that's what it is.
Oh, you know what's funny real quick, man?
What's up?
My 10-year-old son hit me up, man. He was like, he told me to pay him in Bitcoin, straight up.
What? Wow. He's ahead of the game, son.
Yep, my 10-year-old son said, he laughed at me when I was talking about giving him some money. He said, nah, you ain't give me no $10. I want 10 Bitcoins.
Oh my God. That's ridiculous.
And he was serious too. You can keep your little paper. I want them digits, the digitals, man. Come on,
I want them digits. I want them digits.
But the Bitcoin, educate your kids, folks, because that's gonna be the new money.
That's exactly what it is, man. Dex, give out your website once again and how people can get a hold of you.
PulseWaveTrading.com. PulseWaveTrading.com. You can always also send me messages, and you can subscribe on the website so you can follow me when I put out alerts and things like that. You can be one of the first people to get notified.
Absolutely. And with that being said, folks, we are over and we are out. And CJ's not here to take it away, so I'm going to take it away myself. Hasta la pasta, everyone.